this is the start of the podcast.
I feel like for a lot of people joining us right now, energy level's still low. We're still waking up a little bit. We'll get there, guys. I promise.
We're stretching our legs because I was telling Joel before, like, we haven't live streamed since the beginning of the year, and so we're already in February, so it's been like a month. I mean, it's not like we haven't been doing anything. It's just like Last of Us pretty much took over our fucking lives in a good way.
At least me, it has, definitely.
Yeah.
But, I've actually been putting time into video games the past couple of weeks, so I'm super excited to talk about the two big ones that I've been playing a lot. And, movies. I think we've seen a couple of movies since this came out too, and plus a ton of news, guys. There's just so much news that's come out that we haven't talked about live, that we've probably talked about on our own personal channels with each other, but haven't talked to anybody out there about it yet.
Yeah. So I guess to put that in just get this thing official and get this started. Welcome to United We Nerd podcast. Of course, where we love to talk about everything that's nerdy. Of course, I am Brian. Got my other co-hosts Joel and Marcelo here with us. It's been a while, guys. Like I said, we haven't live streamed in a while, but we're here. It's February. We're fresh. There's a lot of shit we need to get over. But I guess for the first thing, which has kind of been happening throughout the month, I kind of wanted just to bring up how it seems like January was the season of layoffs. Like, there's been so many companies that have been coming out with like layoffs. Even like late into last year, there was a bunch of layoffs, but now there's even more just happening, and it's kind of sad, because what was it? Microsoft, I think the most recent one was Microsoft, right? They laid off a bunch of people, including a big chunk, well, maybe not a big chunk, but like a good chunk of like 343, which is fucking wild.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I didn't see that 343 was affected by all that. That's insane. Yeah.
So remember, you knew how like Halo Infinite was kind of like in a weird place, where like the betas were testing really positive, and then when the games came out, it was pretty positive, but then we started noticing that a lot of like the staples of Halo were missing. Like there wasn't the local co-op, there wasn't online co-op for the story, there wasn't Forge, there wasn't the big huge suite of like multiplayer maps and modes.
So everything that we expect from a Halo game was just gone at this point then.
Yeah. So basically, from what I've been reading and just listening to, 343 has been making, like, ever since 4, I believe. It was either 4 or Reach. I forget which game they started with.
I think it was 4.
It was probably 4.
From Bungie, I believe.
Okay. But they've been making the Halo games off of their proprietary engine. I think it was the Slipspace engine that they've been making Halo with for forever. So it was being proven that it was getting harder and harder to make the games off of it, because since it was such old tech, and the hop in hop out rate of like employees that work for 343, and then having to go through like a lightning fast onboarding process to try to get them up to speed and how to use the system, obviously was proving that it wasn't good enough. Because you could see, like, I know I hopped into it when it came out, and Joel, I don't know if you played multiplayer with us. I know I played a little bit with Fernando and Josh. You were there.
I did play with you guys for like a hot minute, like a good couple days. Other than that, I played 5.
Yeah, this was well, I guess I didn't play Halo 5, but this was I guess the second Halo game I did not touch. I just had no interest in touching. Like I had totally been lost on the story for this, and like, looking at the multiplayer, once they started introducing like the things like the grapple hook and stuff like that, I was kind of just like, I miss my Halo 3 type of like, like I miss the old school stuff. But maybe that's just me being, just a fan of the classics, I guess. Classics,
which is fine. You don't. It's like you can have your preference, but what makes me sad is that I played the campaign for Infinite, and it was really good because it was like their semi-open world kind of deal, and then I thought the story was good. I didn't play 5 either, but I just kind of like looked up the story just to kind of catch myself up, and it's like honestly 5 wasn't like much to like ingest as far as like the story goes, just because they did the weird thing where they had like you started with Locke and then you ended up with Master Chief, and so it was kind of like a half and half story.
Blended pretty well, but yeah, I mean, what we wanted was more Master Chief, right?
Yeah.
What's funny is like the last game that really impacted me just in general overall video games was definitely Reach. I have so many memories attached to that game. Like it was the first like console that I can remember that like I bought for myself, and it was like the Halo Reach edition, Xbox 360 and stuff. It was so cool, and the game played so well, and I had such great memories of that story, that multiplayer. That's like that. I feel like that was the last Halo game that I remember really enjoying.
Yeah. Now, to be honest, like as far as like a Halo fan, like I actually haven't played a lot of like the Halo games. I had Combat Evolve on PC. I totally missed 2. I played the multiplayer of 3 when I like went to like people's houses that had 3. And then I didn't like get back into Halo until like 4. And that was fun. I remember we had a lot of fun with 4 multiplayer. Like just fucking around and shit. But yeah, I was just kind of sad because I think a lot of people were hoping that Infinite was going to be like the game, or like what was going to bring Halo back. But then it just kept getting like bogged down with like so many like strikes against it. They had to hold it back a year because it wasn't ready. And then even coming out, like it was obvious that it wasn't like fully ready. But so they promised that they're going to like bring online co-op, which they eventually did. And they eventually brought in Forge, which is cool. But they're saying that they're going to make a campaign DLC. And with the layoffs that Microsoft did, those ideas got canceled. And they're in a state where they're going to be supporting multiplayer for the best that they can. And right now they're going to be focusing on kind of downsizing the scope of Halo game, which I think is interesting that they would say that, because Halo is like the Xbox thing, which it's kind of hard to tell with how they've been treating it. And they were saying that they were going to move to Unreal 5. That they weren't going to use a proprietary kit anymore. They're just going to try doing Unreal 5, which I think will be interesting because Halo has such a unique feel, and to see how they can translate that to Unreal, or if this is going to be really like the first actual like reboot of Halo, because we've had games that have done that recently in the past, like for example, God of War in 2018 had such a big reboot. Like the idea is still there, but like as far as like the gameplay it was a complete like shift in like the series, and it came out to their benefit. So I don't know how that's going to affect Halo, or what's going to happen with that.
Well, like I'm looking at some of the games that are kind of on Unreal 5 now, and I'm just like looking like Hellblade 2 is going to be on Unreal 5, and I'm just like, man, the cutscene potential within.
Dude, like I'm hoping that they have a release date for fucking Hellblade 2, because that was like when they announced the Series X, that was the first game they showed off, and that was really like one of the first games that they showed like Unreal 5 with, and it looks so fucking good. And it's just like Unreal 5 really has a lot of potential. Did either of you guys see that like Matrix demo for Unreal 5?
No, not yet. I have a whole list here of games that are going to be on that engine, and I see and it looks good. If this is a screen cap that I'm looking at right here, then yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of potential. I'm curious to see how that translates to actual gameplay. I mean, it's going to be great for visual cutscene type of stuff like that. And I think it's a pretty solid engine. I mean, Unreal's been around for so long now that it's like a good default, right? I feel like if you're trying to make, a pretty decent game,
it's like it's either you use Unreal or you use Unity, one of the two, or right. Like the staples. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and there's so many other companies that have been doing like layoffs, and it's kind of funny because I think today it was just announced from Nintendo. It's kind of weird for as old and dinosaur-y that like Nintendo's higher ups can be. They surprisingly know how to actually like handle fluctuations in like revenue and sales. Because when the Wii U did terribly when it launched, Iwata like took a big ass pay cut to like help keep as many people employed as they could. And since 2022 was like they did gangbusters, it was just reported today that Nintendo is giving pay raises to their employees, and it's like, damn, Nintendo, you do some weird ass decisions, but sometimes those weird ass decisions are fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, is there something that you guys are expecting tomorrow? As of this recording, I guess too, the Nintendo Direct is tomorrow. Is there anything that you guys are expecting or wanting to see? I'm sure. I think obviously we all want to see, the next Zelda game. Want to see gameplay of that. Curious to see if they're going to even touch on, like Pikmin, anything like that. Like, I'm so curious to see if anything's going to be like super shocking. Cause for me, like the directs, I don't know how I feel about them most of the time, but yes, I think Zelda news is probably the one that I want something. We've gotten a cool trailer. I think two trailers, if I'm right. But I guess I just want the game in hands already. I'm impatient now. Oh yeah, and Pokemon. Like, are we gonna get any updates or anything to Pokemon? You don't think so?
No, because at least from what I've seen, like recently, Pokemon likes to do their own events, and since it's barely been a month since Scarlet and Violet came out. I'd be very surprised if they start talking about DLC, especially when they're already kind of on like we need to patch this thing mode. Mm-hmm. So if we were to get any Pokemon news, it would probably hint at like another presentation down the road. Like maybe around E3, maybe if there was like updates for like maybe like a Unite thing, maybe another like maybe some mobile game stuff. But I really think that Nintendo is going to be focusing on a lot of their like big powerhouse.
What, Octopath Traveler and
Octopath Traveler,
these, like, yeah,
like it would be very stupid to vote against like having like Zelda there, of course.
We're finally gonna get Switch, the Switch Pro news, guys. It's coming, I swear. The Switch 2,
F-Zero,
Astral Chain 2.
Fuck, F-Zero will be great.
F-Zero, let's go. Let's race.
I don't think we'll get an F-Zero game.
All right, fine. I'll shoot further in the dark. Let's get a Metabots game. Come on, it's time.
Oh my god, a Metabots game would be so fun. You know what's funny is I was at a store the other day. I was like, you know what I would love? I would love to be able to buy a Metabot figure again, like we used to, like just like the tiny like 3-inch figures. So cool.
We're gonna keep pushing Metabots after Armored Core, the trailer.
Yeah.
So Ben's in the chat, and he mentioned the rumor about Metroid Prime being more multiplayer focused. I didn't hear that news. I'm actually very intrigued now because I know people are going to be clamoring for Prime 4. That got announced like a few years ago, and then development got scrapped because Nintendo didn't like it and got the original developers back on to make 4. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get a Prime collection, like a remaster or just like a legit like Prime collection on the Switch to gear up for 4.
Genetic trait, kid. I'm not getting in the shower right now.
But I don't know.
We're gonna get a Metroid Prime Battle Royale game exclusively on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh no.
Who's saying that voice too? They're gonna have that announcement.
And now this.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's my question. The Switch has pretty much been around for about 7 years. We're about to hit our 7th year.
2016.
I think, yeah, I believe that's right. Do you think? Because they pretty much said that this direct is going to be focusing on their first half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as we know right now, like none of the big 3 are going to be doing E3 stuff. And there's been rumors that there might not be a like Nintendo Direct during E3 season, which that would usually cover like the end half of the year. So since we are going on our 7th year, and that's usually the average for a console's life cycle, I don't think they would be announcing this next Switch, but it wouldn't be hard to believe that this might be the last like full year of having the Switch be like the focus. And then
I wonder if they would tease it now, and then, I mean, I don't, well, like you said, maybe this is their last year. I just feel like they're so in on the Switch and the Switch LED. I just don't like, I just feel like they're not going to change it soon. I think it'll happen, but you're definitely is now starting to see the Switch's age when it's compared to, you know, I mean, well, and I've been playing a lot of PS5 lately, and the new games are looking nicer and they're playing smoother, and then I go to Switch, and it's so weird to see the differences between both games, like, you know, because I've introduced my children to video games, and so I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart with them.
Okay.
And so just to see those graphics, like those graphics already starting to look a little dated, you know?
Right. Here, I'm just doing a little bit of research right now.
Shout out to Lisa for the subs, by the way. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
And the biddies. Thank you, Lisa.
Mega
Appreciate
Switch
it.
Ultra. I was thinking Switch X. I don't know, all the different names.
So I wanted to do some kind of, you know, research, right? Of just like Nintendo, because it's kind of weird since the Switch is their first hybrid system, that I kind of wanted to do a little bit of like backtracking to see what like Nintendo's trends were. And so I thought, let's pull up Game Boy Advance. So the Game Boy Advance came out in 2001. March in Japan, June everywhere else. The Game Boy Advance SP came out in 2003. And that was their in between before the DS. And the DS came out. The DS came out in 2004.
Fuck.
So,
God.
if we're just like focusing on this like timeline, because I know we can like look back at all the other stuff, all the other at least like handhelds. Like that's like what, a 2-year gap between the Advance and the SP, and then a year after the SP came out, they came out with the DS.
Yeah. See, so like I don't know. They definitely care, but they're just never in a rush. Like Nintendo goes at Nintendo's pace, and they know that, when their consoles release, everybody will still buy them, right? It's not going to stop there. You know, it's not going to be the debacle that the Wii U was. I mean, nobody bought the Wii U, but I think now they're being just a little. I mean, I bought it too. I bought the Wind Maker one, and then I quickly sold it. Like I sold it so fast.
Oh.
And I bought Rock Band for my Xbox. Is what I did when I sold my Wii U.
Hey.
Bought the full band kit.
Hey. Yeah, I don't know. It's you never know. Also, like this, like we're in a weird area because there's, because of the pandemic, there was a part shortage. So I knew if they were planning on doing a new console, like that probably got held back because of the parts. And, I guess the question is, if they do release a new let's say they're gearing up to release the new console next year. They're getting everything sorted out. Will it be like the Switch Pro that everybody's been hoping for? Is it going to be like the big powerhouse handheld console? Probably not. Is it going to be better? Yeah. But I don't know. Nintendo does what Nintendo does.
That's what I was saying. So Nintendo works on Nintendo's time, and they're not worried about what Sony does, and definitely not what Microsoft does. Like poor Microsoft is always. I mean, now I think they're becoming a little bit more competitive just with their offerings. They're coming out with different types of games. They're buying up all these companies to try to develop first party games, like like the game that I've been playing a ton of, which I think is Xbox Microsoft exclusive, right?
Which are you talking about? Yeah, it's it's
Bethesda, right?
Yeah, by Bethesda. So it's a exclusive.
And
Tango Games.
I mean, guys, Brian, you've been playing it?
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
I've been playing it. Joel?
I'm playing Last of Us.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's okay. That's okay, Joel. Hi-Fi Rush is on Game Pass, so it's not going anywhere.
I mean, I heard it's short, so I feel like it's one of those games. As soon as I'm like playing, I'm like gonna be like.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to rock through it.
It's one of those like nice, sweet, like 12-hour games that has enough content to justify playing through it at least twice.
Nice.
Like there's stuff that you can only do on your second go around, but I feel like it's one of those games that it's gonna hook onto you because it's something that hasn't been done before. It's been thought of a lot in the series, or just like in the genre of game. But like, Marcelo, you've been experiencing it, just like the feeling of combat mixed with music, rhythm, timing, and like the environment and the world is just like going along with you. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, say less. I mean, it's the perfect game for me because it really blends in a good beat 'em up with a good just music kind of timing. It's all timing in that game, right? And it's so satisfying when you can stay on beat and hit those crazy combos. And it's like, when you're in an arena fighting a bunch of enemies, it's like so satisfying. And of course, everybody can experience the game differently because you have different combos you can do, different different special moves you can do, and you can really make it your own because even like your buddy that you gain along the way, they have special powers like the side characters have their own like powers that you can buy and do and stuff like that.
You have your own assist characters.
That's right.
Question for you guys: if you stream that, will the music be muted?
So there's two modes, right? So like in the main game you have music from like there's music like Black Keys, there was 9 Inch Nails, so it's like that kind of music for like boss battles. And then in between the levels, it's just kind of the hi-fi rush kind of music. But you can turn streamer mode on so that you won't hit any copyright claims or anything like that, which is really awesome.
It replaces the licensed music with their own music that like roughly kind of matches the music, like the licensed music it shows, and legally distinct. And it's actually not like a downgrade. It's actually just as good as the licensed music, which is great.
Yeah, it's crazy that this game just kind of dropped, right? There was no marketing push, there was nothing for it. And it's been one of my favorite, I mean, the year's so short, but it's been one of my favorite games that I've played in a long time, which says a lot because you guys know me, like if I like a game, I'll definitely put my time and effort into it, right? Like I'll crush it, and like I think I'm like 4-ish hours in, I think, now at this point. So I'm like a little under halfway, but like I'm over here like, okay, cool. All right, let's boot it up. But then, so that's super exciting. I've really been enjoying that one.
Guess I'll have to check it out sooner rather than later.
How far in The Last of Us are you?
I was actually going to tell you guys a little funny story about that. So before I tell you that, my mother-in-law, Rhonda, got me a gift card for my birthday.
Oh.
I was like, I'll use it to buy Last of Us 2 and God of War 4, right? And I was so excited because I got a good deal. I forgot to put in the gift card. So I just straight up charged my credit card.
Oh, no.
My credit card. I was so excited. I mean, the gift card. So, yeah, that happened. But I have God of War 5, sorry. God of War 5 and Last of Us 2.
Hell yeah.
Once I beat Last of Us 1, guess where we're going. Answer your question, though, Marcelo. We literally just beat the first bloater. Like literally right after.
So you're in Lincoln still, right?
Still in Lincoln, yeah.
Oh man, I want to ask you, Joe, how many attempts did it take for you to beat that bloater?
One.
Really?
Whoa, cool
Good
guy.
shit.
I remember watching you fight it, and I was like, "This is
failed.
fucking annoying, dog." Fuck this. And I was just like, "Fuck this!" I'm throwing shit at him. I'm using my shotgun, running around like I did. I was like super apey and shit, banging in his face. But he was.
What about the clicker? What about that first clicker?
Oh no, he fucked me up. Like that's how I was like, "Fuck this game, fucking asshole." But yeah,
nice.
It's still fun, still good, still holds up. Yeah, I just can't wait to re-experience some things. I remember some of the things watching you, Brian, but some of it's like I don't remember this at all. So it's kind of like a nice journey for us. So
nice.
When we get to our review of episode 4 later, we'll have to talk about your feeling of how the game is translating into the show.
So far, really well. I still stand by that it's an amazing show.
Oh man, it's just such a great game. There's so many good games. No, Marcel, I know we were talking a little bit before we kind of just like started, but I think you and me have been kind of on the same path recently where we have surprisingly just been busting through a bunch of games.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, definitely, like I said, Hi-Fi Rush has been a big one. I mean, I powered through Pokemon Violet. I mean, you know me, always so quick. I'm always like the first one done with like the main story stuff in those games, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, I just am cruising around, you know. Brian's a cruiser, and I'm just like straight shot.
Bro, I remember like when we first started like hanging out, and that's when like X and Y got released. And literally, like, we talk about, it's like, oh man, you know, it's Friday, you know, X and Y comes out, it'll be awesome. And like the Monday we like hang out again, it's like, yeah, I beat it already. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like, I'm barely on the third town. What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't, you know, for those games, I like very like seldomly like pause. You know why though? It's because, you know, I don't use any status moves. You know, I just attack. I just bum rushed the whole game all the time. And the only game that there's only one Pokemon game. I was thinking about this the other day, or like when Pokemon Violet came out. The only game that I didn't beat or I didn't fully play was Sun and Moon. It was the only game that I didn't play through, but I bought it. And I was thinking about it. I've bought almost every single Pokemon game since Red and Blue.
Heyo.
Damn.
There you go.
Talk, man, that was crazy. So I've been playing that, and then as of last.
Oh. The wife
he
calls.
He is our resident Pokemon master, and I just want to share at work. It's funny, kids will wear Pokemon stuff. I was like, oh, Pokemon. They're like, you know what Pokemon is? I'm like, child, know nothing.
Just have you dropped a bombshell on them? Was like, I've been alive longer than Pokemon.
I haven't said that yet. But they're like, Charizard's the best. I'm like, no, it's not. Get out of here.
Well, when did Pokemon come out in the US? 97?
96, 97. Yeah.
90, I want to say it was 90. I'm going to fact check right now. I want to say it was 98.
Like, I feel like the game came out in 98, but did the anime come out like just before the Game Boy Color game?
The anime came, like for us, it came out roughly around the same time.
Okay, so the late 1900s, as Ben says.
Yep.
So in Japan, it came out in 96 for like North America. It came out in 98.
98. Okay.
Yeah.
So that game is only 5 years from being 30.
About, yeah.
Damn.
They just hit their 25th anniversary.
That's right. Yeah, 25 years.
This past year.
Yep.
But yeah, it's an old franchise, and it stands the test of time, regardless of how rushed some of the games might be.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerhouse for sure. Fuck. There's one. Speaking of games that we finished, literally 2 days ago, I finally beat Cult of the Lamb. I finally beat it.
Is that game kind of like a dungeon rush type of game, or does it have like a story that you kind of follow?
So both actually. So it is a like roguelite, like dungeon crawler that has a story, but then it also has kind of like a village management thing tied to it. So to roughly kind of explain it without kind of spoiling a lot, like obviously you're a lamb that gets brought back to life by this deity, or like this dark entity that basically requests you to like gather as many followers as you can, take down these heretics, and set me free, kind of deal. So you basically start out in this open area, and you have to slowly start gathering followers and like building a village, and like maintaining it, and like making sure that you get as enough like praise to like help level yourself up.
Interesting.
And so you do that by going through dungeons, and they're all like randomly generated. The weapons you get are random, the powers you get are random, and you like collect resources to maintain your village and whatnot, and then eventually you like reach up to the point where you fight the main boss of the game. It's very weird because normally these kind of games aren't my deal, but for some reason Cult of the Lamb just like clicked for me so hard, because like it has that light like Animal Crossing ish vibe, and then you have your dungeon runners, and then you have your just like cute little characters, and then the the Steam version has a Twitch interface where your Twitch, like when you gain followers, it's like all random, it's all randomized, but then if you link your Twitch to the Steam version, the followers you get are the people in your chat, which is really cool. But yeah, I had so much fun with this game. I know that they're planning on bringing out more DLC, and they've been doing a lot of like quality of life updates to it, which has been really cool. So this game has a lot of steam behind it still. And I just love the game. I just finished it for the first time, and I'm already planning on doing my second run, because how you do your upgrades, you can create laws for your cult, and it pretty much dictates how you kind of run the cult. Like you can be like a nice cult leader, or you can be like the very like hard-nosed like sacrificial like cult leader kind of thing, or like it, and like there's a whole bunch of like different paths you can take and how you like run your village. So I kind of want to try to do, I went very like kind in my first one, so I kind of want to try to do more of like a more selfish run, I guess I'll call it. But Cult of Lamb, very solid. If you haven't played it, try it. It's great. It ran a little bit weird on the Switch at first, but like over all the updates, it runs perfectly fine. It's a lot of fun.
What do you feel like that's one of those games that like you started playing and you couldn't like put down, or was it just kind of like one that you could like, all right, well, I'm gonna like wind down and pick up my Switch or whatever and just kind of casually play?
So when I first started playing it, it was one of those things where I was playing it almost every day. And then once it started getting to like the November season, and like God of War came, like Ragnarok came out, and all the fall games came out, I started switching it to being more of like a winding down kind of end of the day thing. Because there literally be times where I turn it on and I wouldn't really even do dungeon runs. I would just manage my village.
Oh, nice.
Like,
okay.
And it was perfectly, I had fun doing that. It was great. So I feel like it does a good job to kind of cater to both of those play styles, where you can just go into it, grind, and like rush through it, or you can like just take your time and like turn it on for an hour a day and just kind of like chip away at leveling up and going through the story a little bit.
So I started a game yesterday that has hooked me deep, guys. It's got me good, and it's like one of those things where like I've thought about it all day. Like on my lunch break from work, I played it, and it's very few games ever do this to me, where I'm like thinking about it, and all I want to do is play it. Like I'm over here like looking at the clock, like, all right, when will I get my chance to play it before bed tonight? Yes, Doki Doki. Yes, absolutely. How did you know? You know me so well. So I pre-ordered the the new Harry Potter game. Not Harry Potter, the
Wizarding World.
Wizarding World game.
Oh boy, here we go.
Hogwarts Legacy. Guys,
hang tight.
I love this game, guys.
Oh man,
I love this game. I love being in Slytherin House. I love the nostalgia I'm getting from this game. I love the world. It's so big, and you can run around the freaking school, guys, and just live all of your wizarding dreams. The character creator is not something to write home about. It's whatever, but I don't care about that.
So,
I don't ever do character creator. Like the game came up, gave me the option to create a character. I looked at it, I was like, good enough, and I just jumped straight into it.
So before you go any further, I think we could all kind of agree here. Fuck J.K. Rowling for one.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
And also about the character creator, I did actually see that they did one thing that most game developers don't do, and actually make black hairstyles.
Yeah, and they're like pretty decent. Like I saw a TikTok today with somebody going through the character creator and like building out their character and looking at those hairstyles, and they look pretty decent. Like they did a good job. And what's great is you can change the settings in the game to run for performance or fidelity, right? So like depending on what you want to do, you can run it either way. But so far, like I haven't had any issues. Like with a lot of these types of games, like these mass open world games, I feel like there's always like clipping, like their hair clips into their shirt, but I haven't actually seen any of that in this game. It's really cool.
Wow.
There's a couple of conversations that I've had with some of the NPCs where like they're like kind of uncanny valley, like they got the Polar Express eyes, like kind of deadpan. But this is I'm playing this game, I guess 3 days early, because it doesn't actually come out until the 9th, I think, is when it comes out. So I'm playing it 2 or 3 days early because I pre-ordered it.
Okay.
So we'll see like the actual day one launch if they're going to update any of that stuff. But I haven't had any performance issues yet. I haven't had any type of crashes or anything that I'm like, oh, like nothing is broken so far.
That's actually surprising.
Yeah, but like there's so much hate going around for people playing this game right now.
Yeah, saying that it's a very polarizing game is saying like the least about it. For sure.
Yeah. Oh man, it sucks. It sucks that J.K. Rowling is a piece of shit. Like it just sucks because I feel like people would absolutely love this game if you gave it a chance. I was talking about how much I really enjoyed like the combos and the combat system that's in the game, and I'm only a couple hours in, but like there's already so much that's happened.
So how is the combo system? I'm curious.
I mean, it's just trigger, like it's like trigger and face button type of thing. So like your spell, you can choose from like 4 spells that are kind of on your face buttons, like your X and square and stuff like that. And it's just a matter of like timing it, and all your spells have a cooldown. So it's like timing like your basic hits. So if you tap if you tap right trigger, it just shoots like a basic attack, but you can combo that basic attack with your spells. And so you can call them in closer, or you can make them float, shoot them, call them in closer, and kind of keep juggling them like that.
Okay.
So that's pretty fun. And there is like a kind of like an armored transmog thing, right? So like your cloaks and your scarves and your glasses, all those have like a point value, like defense, offense. And then like because I pre-ordered, I got like the dark art cloaks. So like if I want to keep that skin on, I just upgrade my cloak and then just put the skin back on, and it just progresses through, which is really awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can really customize your wand too, which is a funny thing to say, but you can customize, change the type of wand that you play with. There's different types of things that you can. I feel weird. I feel weird talking about this game like this, but
can you put the red dot sight on your wand?
Yeah, you can have a zoom scope too, and then you click and stuff like that.
Charge on that.
Yeah, no, yeah, guys, I don't know. Am I the bad guy here?
I think I was thinking about how to like do this without like yucking your yum.
Yeah, man, don't yuck my yum. That's what we tell our kids. Don't yuck somebody else's yum, bro.
I mean, I'm going to anyway, and no, for real though, it's for me, it's like this specifically because it's a legacy I loved as well. It's hard to like dissociate the creator and their offset creation. This is like, it's like very conflicting for me. I'm not gonna get it. It kind of reminds me of what's that fucking game that Justin Roiland came out with?
High on Life.
High on Life, yeah. Like I can't disassociate the creator with that for sure. Definitely, like I'll probably never touch that, even though it'll probably be a great fun game to play. It's just unfortunate, like you're saying, you're having a great time, but of course there's this like huge shadow over it. So it's just...
There is, yeah, and like like I said, I bought the game because I love the world and I love Harry Potter, and I've been a big fan of it forever. It like I said, it sucks that J.K. Rowling is such a piece of shit that it's hard for, it sucks that because she is the creator of that universe that it's so tied in.
Yeah.
I of course don't agree with anything that she's like, any of her views, but it's like, I guess I've just learned to kind of separate myself, her, the person, from kind of everything else that starts coming out of it. Because I don't really know how much say she has in this kind of stuff anymore. I don't know if she had anything to do with this.
Apparently, from what, like when this game got announced originally, they said that she had nothing to do with the game at all. It's literally at a point where Warner Brothers does like most of the work now.
Yeah.
And she just gets royalties. Yeah, she just gets royalties now.
So that makes me feel a little bit better, But people are gonna still feel strongly about it, and of course, you feel what you feel. I can't yuck your yum, as Joel would say, and I would say, and my kids would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just been, I've just, I'll just say that I've been really enjoying it, and I'll definitely play it through as far as I can until I get that last spell. We're talking about.
Fucking,
the big one.
Are you just waiting to become like a master of the dark arts?
He wants to become fucking Voldemort, just lay people out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consumption under capitalism.
I gotta do it.
Yeah. Today's been like wild for that, just for like that game in general. Yeah, I don't know. Like I've only really ever like been a fan of the movies. Like I tried reading it when I was a kid, but that was like back before I learned I was dyslexic and like had a hard time reading. So I was like, I don't want to read this shit. It's like I gave up on reading it, and I like the movies. The movies are great. Back then, and so I don't know if I ever like wind up being able to get it without paying for it, or maybe like getting it pre-owned or something like that. If I really like had no other games to play, I might try it. But
So you're not going to pay $80 like I did?
Fuck no, not with fucking like other game, like not with like like Zelda coming out soon. Hell no. Shit, they just announced fucking like the next WWE game coming out next month, and the fucking deluxe edition's like $100 fucking.
Oh man, is 2K still behind those?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So I'm trying to give them the benefit of doubt because they technically did make it better last time, but they announced that they're bringing War Games to the fucking game this year. War Games has been like the one game mode people have been wanting for forever.
Which game was like what just came out totally broken? Was it 20?
It was 20, and that was because Ukes was the people that did the games for forever, like back since like the N64 days. They decided to be like, you know what, 2K, we're fucking done, we're gone, and so 2K had to like pick up the slack, and it was terrible. Like, I still have it because I can't get rid of it because it's worth nothing now. I can't tell you how disappointed I was. I streamed it too, and I don't know if I have the VOD for it anymore, but you can go back to it and like some of the very famous wrestlers in that game like look good, but everybody else looked like off-brand versions of themselves. It was so bad, and like the gameplay was choppy and it wasn't good. But like they did all right with the 22 that came out last year. It was all right. If you pre-order it this year, you get Bad Bunny.
Ooh, well, that's it. That's all I needed to hear.
Which I'm surprised he wasn't in the game last year. But I guess because Machine Gun Kelly organized the soundtrack for the last one, they had to have him in it for some stupid fucking reason. I don't know.
Are you gonna get a bunch of like? Is Logan Paul gonna be in this one now?
Flying.
He was in the last one, but he is gonna be in this one.
What if he's on the cover?
No, it's John Cena. They're doing because what they've been doing recently is that they've been picking a wrestler and kind of going through their history in like a showcase mode. Mm-hmm. Last year was Rey Mysterio, and this year they're doing John Cena.
Oh, nice. Okay, so the cover's just going to be empty.
That was the joke. Actually, when they announced the game, they literally did an ad campaign where it was that you couldn't see, like the cover was empty. Or like
what if the special edition comes with a blank cover?
I'd love that. That'd be fantastic. It's like
just reversible. Like if you just want to flip it and you actually want to see the.
So the trailer that they had for the announcement, at one point they literally had Bad Bunny taking so a fan walks in and asks for to take a picture, and it's literally Bad Bunny wrapping his arm around nothing, and it's just a floating John Cena hat.
Oh, dude.
It's like, oh, fuck. They fucking went for it. It was good.
Actually going to be just Vince's face.
Oh, no.
Man, look at Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is in wrestling, movies, music.
The Bullet Train.
So if nobody has seen it, go look up either Bad Bunny at like WrestleMania or Bad Bunny at the Royal Rumble. He's surprisingly like a lot of people think that he's like one of the top like celebrity wrestlers. So there's a move called the Destroyer, right? And it's basically somebody kind of leaping over another dude and like holding onto him, like pile driving him to the ground, right? When Bad Bunny did his like first like match or quote unquote, he like pulled that off super fucking clean, and like then he like jumped off the top rope to like the floor of like the ring, and it's like, oh shit, he's actually pretty dope. And he wasn't in the last game, which was sad, but he's in it now. So,
well, MGK had to be in it, right?
MGK, Logan Paul.
Speaking of games, of course, I don't know if we said it last time. Just R.I.P. to the late voice actress who did Tess in The Last of Us. I don't know if we said that.
I think we talked about it, right?
Cool. Just making sure we covered that shit. All right. Anyway,
collector's edition is John Cena holding up ice cream. Oh my gosh.
Can we get the Peacemaker edition?
Dude, what if there's a Peacemaker skin? There has to be. I mean,
people have made a Peacemaker John Cena.
Oh man, that'd be so cool.
Because you can make you can either make like custom like characters with like a photo scan of their face, but you can actually go in and just make custom attire for the actual wrestlers. So people have just gone and made Peacemaker outfits for John Cena. That's great.
Can't wait for season 2 of that show. Season 1 was so good. I just didn't think it would be that good.
So we're kind of getting close to the end of like the podcast, but Joel, did you I think we should talk about DC for a little bit because DC had a lot of big news.
Oh hell yeah! In case you missed it, James Gunn did like a 5-minute announcement of upcoming things, and they're basically just resetting the DC universe. We talked about it a little bit, but just the picks he had were just a little out there. Like, he didn't do like the big Justice League like characters we were expecting. He did some random ones, but I guess a testament to that is like the work he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and DC really trusts him to do. He can do
And the Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad, and of course Peacemaker, right? So yeah, it's just really interesting to see what he's going to bring forward and what they're going to do next. It's just crazy. Like Swamp Thing, or is it a Man Thing? I forget which.
No,
Swamp Thing. Yeah, you got it.
They're trying Swamp Thing again.
Yeah, different shows. A True Detective, Green Lantern, interesting concept all in itself, right?
Hey, at least Jon Stewart finally gets to make his live action debut.
And these are, at least for me, I'm all about Marvel. So for some of these, like, I just know like the general DC stuff, like never heard of the Authority. Booster Gold I had an idea of, but that was about it. Though everyone else, like, was like, fuck, I don't know what this is about. He's gonna do like a Game of Thrones, like Amazon, like kind of show, which I was like,
oh yeah, what was it, like Paradise Lost?
Yeah. Along with the mascara.
Yeah, they're really just like doing it,
So what I thought was interesting during like the whole presentation is that when he was explaining each of the different like projects he had planned, they were like showing off like comic book panels of everything, which I thought was interesting because it gives people like a kind of like basis. It's like, hey, this is like who the characters are right now, and then of course eventually they'll like start casting and like showing off actual like production stuff. But I thought it was like a good way because like the first thing he said, like when they first started the whole studio and like the whole revamp for the DCU, is that he was saying like everything was going to be tied together, like comics, games, like animated, and like and then live action.
Yep.
So it's kind of nice to see. Still a little weird that we're still getting Flash.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
And he's like supportive of it too, which again, it just goes back to that conversation of the artist versus the creator, right? Like, can you separate Ezra Miller, Barry Allen from Ezra Miller? Like, I feel like a hypocrite now for saying that it's kind of hard to watch The Flash knowing the kind of piece of shit that Ezra Miller is. But I don't know if because the degrees of separation are much closer. Like I said, I feel like a hypocrite for saying I don't want to watch The Flash because Ezra's a piece of shit, but I'm playing a game based on a world created by a piece of shit. It's
okay, Marcel. He's getting therapy. It's fine. Yeah. It's better now, even though he literally has like felonies put against him.
And he said he like likes it. He likes the story. And I know they're like wiping the DC slate clean, but
that's probably why he likes it. It's like, it's giving him his chance now.
Yeah, is he like going to implode on himself and become a new Flash? Is that why? Like,
it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be Flashpoint, so it's like it ends with Flash resetting the universe. Pretty much.
Maybe I think this movie has to come out, guys, for them to be able to introduce all this stuff.
I guess. I mean, shit. We're also still getting Aquaman too.
Yeah.
And Blue Beetle and Shazam. Still getting Shazam too.
So I'm honestly like, I haven't seen Shazam 1. And at this point, I knew it was okay. I kind of don't care. I kind of don't care now knowing that they're not going to like go through with like Shazam and Black Adam, even though Black Adam was like a mid movie.
That's being very generous, Brian.
That's being very generous for someone who hasn't seen it. But like Aquaman, I've never seen the first Aquaman. I don't plan on seeing it because pretty much I don't want to like support a movie with an actor I don't like in it at all.
You're talking about Jason Momoa like that for?
Yeah, man.
No, man. Hey, I love Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is a brother.
Oh, you're talking about Amber Heard.
Yeah. No. There's
What
a
if
reason
we
why
just like held a picture of like some other person, and every time she was on camera, he just held it over like her profile, and then just watch Jason Momoa, and then just a picture of whoever you choose right next to it.
Face. He was in the first one. Just put Willem Dafoe's
Oh
face.
yeah, it's more Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Or
Oh
just
my
put
God.
Ben Affleck's face on it.
I just imagine him in that skin tight green suit.
Hell yeah! Again, let's go.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
won't be his
you're
first
right.
time.
We've seen this before.
We've seen this before. This is Aquaman.
But like Blue Beetle will be cool, just because it's like, well, yeah, I hope so. Just because it's it's Blue Beetle. It's a roughly like
We get to see
new.
George Lopez. That's gonna be so fun.
Is George Lopez in the movie?
Yeah.
So is the actor
Who is he
from
playing?
What We Do in the Shadows, the Latin actor?
Guillermo, the guy that plays Guillermo, and I think isn't the Blue Beetle the guy from Cobra Kai, the kid,
Yes, it is.
right?
Yeah.
What a cast! I'm so excited for
cast.
this movie. I love Blue Beetle.
The new universe? Do you guys know, or is that its own thing? Is it like just Batman?
Blue Beetle, it's kind of rough because that was in development before all of this James Gunn DCU stuff happened. So I guess it's pretty much up to him if he wants to make it part of his world.
Batman is going to be Elseworld. Their What If, right? It's a separate universe. I'm guessing Blue Beetle will probably be like that. But I mean, he has what, like that advanced suit, as far as I know. He could like go to fucking other universes or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he could write something in.
But pretty much, like, I don't know. Like, I'm really happy that they're still going with the Batman because that was a great movie. And it's nice that they're not afraid to keep doing all these like spin-offs and like standalone movies. Announcing another Batman movie, it was kind of interesting. But the fact that they're actually focusing on something new with like having a Robin back and having it be Damian Wayne, and like they're doing like the Batman Brave and the Bold comic run like adaptation is interesting because not only do we actually get a Robin again since forever, it's going to be the first time we see in live action like Batman having to be a dad. So it creates a whole new dynamic for like a live action Batman movie. Bat dad. And of course, I guess the biggest one, the one that James Gunn seemed the most excited about, is the new Superman movie.
Oh yeah,
That they're planning. Right. Superman Legacy. Yeah, Superman Legacy.
Like a younger Superman, right?
A younger Superman, and basically, from what Gunn was saying, is that this is going to be a return to like classic Superman, or like how Superman was like in his heyday, kind of ideal. Whatever that means.
I wonder who they're considering for this role.
I don't know.
There's there's just no hints, nothing. There's nothing out there to kind of like compare it to.
Austin Butler. Be Austin Butler.
Did you say Armie Hammer?
Austin
Butler. Where'd you get Armie? Yeah, he's gonna eat the competition away.
Hey, man, that de-aging technology, man, is great.
God,
could do it.
It's going to be a CG Chris Reeves.
Could be someone that isn't a big actor. I agree with you, Ben. I like when they do that.
it should be Dave Bautista.
As Drax, as Superman.
As Superman. Or, oh, you know who a good Superman would be, guys? The Rock.
Oh no.
I think you might be getting it.
So I want the first scene to be The Rock coming on the screen in his Black Adam outfit, and it's like the shifted power in the DC universe is forever changed, and like his suit, gosh, he like rips the suit, and it's just a Superman suit underneath.
Let's talk about Black Adam for a second. Let's talk about this movie for a second.
What if it starts with Brainiac melting his brain, and then it's Superman fighting? But go ahead, Marcelo. I know.
Okay, so exactly Brian, did you watch the Black Adam movie?
No, and I don't care.
Okay, so this is just really funny. Like Joel and I were together, and we were like, all right, well, let's put on Black Adam, right? Like we have nothing to watch. Let's just put on this random movie and see how far we get. And I said, what, are we going to get like a Rock montage of The Rock coming out in slow motion? And literally 10 seconds later comes out to what, like Led Zeppelin or no, it was the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
it was painted black by the Rolling Stones in slow motion. And I was just like,
I was laughing.
All right,
that was enough for me. I think we made it to the first scene with Dr. Fate, and I was like, all right, this is good. I think we've seen enough to get where this is going.
Was the power of the DC universe forever changed?
Yeah, it was shifted into the garbage.
I just want to say, I keep seeing these things on Instagram because I like all the nerdy movie shit, like different things James Gunn has said. It's like he was dicked around. It's like, or like this wasn't a good idea. I'm just like, what is actually valid? But yeah, that movie. Yeah, hopefully they don't connect that movie ever again. Dr. Fate was cool. The ensemble did a good job for a movie with The Rock.
Morbius was better than Dr. Fate, guys. Or Morbius was better than Black Adam.
I don't know about that.
Say that with a straight face. Thought so.
All right, give me a second.
Caught you in 4K.
Give me a second.
On those
all right.
chops.
All right.
Damn, I can't even say with a straight face, guys.
Nope.
So you never respond to that image I sent you. It's not about Morbin me or Morbin I. It's about Morbin us. Or
oh my god.
Morbius.
I'll send it to you too, Brian.
Okay. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Is there any big topics you guys wanted to bring up before we wrap it up?
Just really enjoyed the Pedro Pascal SNL, his little
oh bro, the
Mario short,
the Mario Kart Last of Us. Oh god,
I can't. It's a red shell. The best ones, the best skits from that one were definitely the ones where he broke character, like the bed, like where he's like waking up from the coma.
Oh, that was pretty.
And the kitchen table one, right?
Yeah.
Where they just couldn't stop.
I haven't seen those ones. I have to go look them up.
Oh, dude, just look them up on YouTube. Like, just watch those two. Definitely the kitchen one.
SNL,
the restaurant one.
SNL posts their skits on YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Oh no, Joel sent me the. Let me see this.
Yeah, we talked about Microsoft layoffs. We don't have to talk about exactly.
Oh my fucking god.
We talked about this one for a second already. Nintendo Direct. I just want to say Bad Batch is still going. Brian, I think you should watch episode 5. Get to episode 5. It's dope. You're going to know why when you watch it. That's all I got to say. Okay. That's it. We talked about DC.
Oh, shit.
Everything I wanted to talk about, we touched. So.
We are less than a month away from The Mandalorian Season 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's coming fast, and we'll be
Last
watching
of Us Season 1.5.
Oh.
Mando Season 3.2.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for the United Winner podcast. Of course, if you're watching live on twitch.tv/United We Nerd, stick around because we are going to be getting to our review of Last of Us episode 4 before we head out. And of course, if you're listening or watching post live on podcast services or on youtube.com at United We Nerd, you can look forward to seeing the review soon after this episode comes out. If you want to send us any questions or critiques, Joel, where could they send us those critiques and questions?
Send us questions, critiques, comments about Gundam, DC. Well, don't send it about DC. I'm not good about DC. What else? Fucking Marvel, Gundam. Oh, Assassin's Creed. Hell yeah. Well, anyways, questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, reasons why you should watch Tales of the Jedi.
Oh,
yes, that exists. Remember that came out.
That's true.
Bad Batch, Wakanda Forever.
Mm-hmm.
This was an email. UnitedWeNerdcast@gmail.com. Where? UnitedWeNerdcast@gmail.com. Send us stuff. Or add us at Twitter. Twitter.com/United_We_Nerd. We're on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and TikTok. This was questions there. Comment below. YouTube video, let us know if you agreed with us, disagreed with us, or hot takes. Hot takes. My pronunciation is going out already.
No.
You know, any hints you got for me for Last of Us 2, or God of War 5, without spoiling anything. Let us know what your favorite subclasses in Destiny. They just sent out that email. What you've been up to. Get ready for Strand coming. Anyway.
Oh God, that's right.
That's not it. What about, you want to say the other stuff too, Brian? Or you want to say it for the end?
You know what? Fuck it. Joel, where can they find your stuff at? Your solo stuff?
AdMac, Monster Mind, Spotify, SoundCloud, and TikTok. Acoustic Avenger on Twitter. The I is replaced with the 1. Yeah. How about you, Brian? Where do they find you?
Well, of course, you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Brian_Saber, as well as YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Twitch.tv/Brian Saber. And I guess Hive. I haven't seen people talk about Hive that much, but I'm there. I check every once in a while. I have an account. My Doomsday account. Hey, who knows?
Said they're gonna actually charge for Twitter next year. I don't fucking know, man. Like,
yeah, it's always up in the air. It's always weird. Marcelo, if you're there, you want to shout out your stuff?
If he's still not here, I'll do it for him. He's probably in the bathroom. M90 Plays is where you can find him on Twitter.
That's right.
And on Instagram. I know he has a Twitch channel as well, M90 Plays. Check him out there. He streamed a couple things, I believe. So send him some love over there.
Yes. And that'll about do it for this episode of the podcast. Wow, that was weird. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We missed you guys. We will be doing more of these lives a lot more often. And until the next time, always remember, keep on nerding.
Yes.